Spiderman, Spiderman, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spiderman.
Hello YouTube and welcome to a new toy review. This time let's take a look of the Hasbro 9-inch Spiderman Origins Spider-Man figure. I didn't really know much about this line. I came across it completely by accident because I was checking out some auctions on eBay and one of the Spider-Man lots contained this figure. And I never really collected this scale. I don't really have 9-inch figures, and I've never really been a big fan of these action figures that contain clothing, but still somehow this is such a good likeness of Spider-Man that I started to really like this figure. And unfortunately I couldn't get that lot on eBay, but eventually I caved in and bought this figure, and I'm really happy I did so, because I have to tell you, this is an amazingly well done Spider-Man figure. Now in this line, according to the back of the box that I have seen, there are some other figures out, like Dr. Octopus, the Green Goblin, another Spider-Man with the black outfit, and I've seen some other heroes like Wolverine and Captain America being out, or even Daredevil. I don't have them. To tell you the truth, I will probably not buy them. I'm really happy with this figure, but I don't want to start to collect a line in this scale, because I don't really have any place to put them. Really, they don't look that good with 6-inch figures. So as I mentioned, this is a 9-inch action figure that is basically not fitting well with any of the toy lines that I have. He doesn't fit well with these Action Man type figures, even the newest ones, those really expensive deluxe figures that are coming out in this scale, and he doesn't fit well with the 6-inch scale because he's too big. So if you own this figure, I think you will encounter this problem, that you basically have to find a spot apart from your regular action figures to put him in to make him look good, and he will probably be there alone. But since this is such a great universal figure, I think it looks great anywhere you put it, basically, so I wouldn't worry much about that. I decided to make a review about this one because I was really pleasantly surprised by this figure. So, with that said, let's start with Articulation. You basically have your basic, I don't know, Action Man Articulation here, with some good surprises, maybe some bad ones too, but definitely more good than bad. So the head can rotate, and unfortunately that's all the head can do. He can't look up or down, which is a really shame. I would be really happy to have the head on a ball joint, especially since most of the old Action Man figures can do that. So even these older model Action Man figures have a little bit of up and down movement. So really having a ball jointed head is not such a great big new achievement. I would have been really happy if they gave this one a ball jointed head, but unfortunately they didn't. What pleasantly surprised me though is this ab articulation. I guess I could call it that. He has pretty good ab crunch. He can sort of look up like this because of that, and he can move side to side pretty well, so that helps a lot with a lot of poses, makes a lot of cool poses possible even without the ball jointed head, so that's definitely a plus there. Arms can go out. I was surprised the clothing is not really hindering anything, so it works really well. So you can elevate his arms about this much, and Also the arms rotate, he bends at the elbow, you have rotation at the wrist, and you can move it up and down like that. Unfortunately his fingers are posed like this, which is cool, but if you open the fingers it would look really creepy. So basically you only have this option. So as you can see, if you move it, the whole section moves with it. Yeah, that's definitely a bad point, but you will have it in this web shooting pose anyway, you have to, so that's nothing you can do about it. I don't like these metal pins, they stand out. I think I will probably color them red with just a Sharpie, just to make them look, you know, a little bit more blending in. The other hand is a fist. You can open it, it looks decent opened, and you can close it in. The fingers are not individually jointed, but you can move the whole thing together. Also here you can move the hand up and down, and you can rotate it. So as you can see, the hand, the whole glove piece is one molded piece that I'm sort of happy for. I guess the clothing goes under and it's secured somehow. I don't want to pull it out because I'm sure I won't be able to put it back in, because I think this looks rather nice this way. I've seen pictures of the black suit Spider-Man that doesn't have a full molded glove part, and the clothing just ends here, and also with the boots it doesn't have the molded boots, so the pants are ending here, which kind of makes him look like he's wearing I don't know, like pajamas or a weird kind of jumpsuit, and I don't really like that. So I'm probably not going to buy that figure, but yeah, I think this figure looks way better thanks to these molded gloves and boots. You can rotate also at the waist. Legs move pretty far up. Unfortunately back they don't really move that much, but it's okay. They can move out decently. You have a single jointed knee articulation here, and at the feet you can move them up and down. Unfortunately up not so much, but down quite well, and you can rotate. No swivel here. So articulation is, I think, okay. You can pull off some great poses with him pretty nicely. I really like the cloth. It's very nicely done. It fits him well. It's not too loose or anything, and it's also not too tight. It's not hindering the motion in any way. It's made out of kind of this spandex type material. The detailing is very nice. The pattern is spot on. Yeah, the only downside of the molded gloves is that the colors don't really match. This is a darker red than the suit. Also you can see it at the head, but it's not so bad. Actually, you can get used to it. It's really nothing major, I guess. On the back you have the big spider, and you probably noticed that there's no opening on the clothing. So even though this is like those old Mego style figures, you can't undress him. And I'm not even, well, you can if you really want to, but I don't see the point. So posability is pretty good. Likeness is spot on. You can pull off some really good, really cool looking web slinging poses with him, and you can put him in some other signature poses of good old Spidey, like this kind of crouching positions. And you have to play with it a little, finding the right balance, getting around the limitations of the articulation, but it's not so bad as I was afraid it would be. I think you can put him in pretty decent poses, and he could look pretty well. If you're a comic book fan, I would definitely recommend you to pick him up, because he's an impressive looking figure and he doesn't have such a high price range as most of those, you know, 12-inch or higher scales figures that also come with clothing, and they can be, you know, they are collector's items. They can be pretty expensive. For kids, I'm not sure if I would recommend this figure, mostly because it can easily be ruined, because the clothing, it can get stained or torn apart, or even if you just pull it out of the glove part, I think that also kind of ruins the figure, because I would imagine it's really hard to get it back there. Also, you can't remove the clothing. I'm pretty sure kids will try to do that, so I'm not sure if this is the right choice for kids. I would say the plastic action figures that are, you know, available everywhere and really easy to get by are more better option. I would say this is definitely directed towards a little bit older fans who will probably, you know, not play with it as much, but rather just have it on the shelf, put it in some cool pose and just leave it there. So, but for those, I think this is a perfect figure. It's really well done. It looks good. Also, I like to point out that this Spider-Man, the image of his is very much McFarlane looking, I think. These big eyes, big large spider eyes, are really, I think, trademark McFarlane stuff, and they are very nicely done. As a kid, I was a huge fan of McFarlane's style Spidey. When that came out, I was really excited and loved the comic. I always loved Spider-Man, but I just really loved the style of McFarlane, and I think this captures this, at least to me, it reminds me of that era and that style of Spider-Man. So if you're a fan of that, I think you should definitely take a look at this, because I think this is one of the best looking McFarlane Spideys that you can find. Of course, the 6-inch Marvel Legends McFarlane Spidey is also a good choice, but if you want something a little bit more special, something that, you know, stands out a little bit more, then I would maybe recommend you to pick this one up. So thank you for watching this review of the Spiderman Origins Spider-Man figure. Stay tuned for more, and take care, and bye bye.